HTV Today, Houston Television's showcase of city government. Let's go! All right. March the 10th, 2020. Welcome back to another episode of HTV, and we have a special guest with us. Well, I mean, everybody's special, right, Terry?
Yes.
Okay, everybody's special.
Everyone that comes to HTV
is special. And you forgot the proper opening. We're supposed to say, woo, woo, yeah, woo, yeah.
Yay.
Little Ric Flair, Four Horsemen, woo. Grew up with wrestling, yeah. So, our special guest today is, and you know what? I'll do something different. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thanks, Ted and Terry, and thank you for having me. I'm Suzane Abedi, the Assistant Director at Complete Communities, the Mayor's Office of Complete Communities.
So Abdi, it took me a little bit. I had to practice Abdi, and that is.
So I'm Palestinian, born in Lebanon. So that's the E is silent, tricks you.
It does. What does it mean?
It actually means somebody who, with faith, That's the best way to describe it. I'm trying to remember. There's a different word.
Right. Okay, cool. So, of course, you're a city employee. We highlight city employees.
Yeah, this is really cool.
But what everyone wants to know is so where are you from? How'd you get started in government? So let's go with where you're from first.
I know, right? Well, so I grew up in Houston.
Okay.
So born in Lebanon. We can sit back and take some time.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So I was born in Lebanon, originally Palestinian, but moved to Houston back when I was 7, so only a few years ago.
Okay.
So been here ever since, but I did leave for a few years. I bounced around to New York, Dubai, DC, and finally made my way back home about a year and a half ago.
Oh, nice. Dubai. Okay.
Yeah.
And so where'd you go to, I guess, high school, college?
Klein Forest High School.
Klein, next door to my district.
Really?
Spring, yeah, Westfield.
Very nice.
Yeah. Klein's okay. It's okay.
Is it only
Yeah,
okay?
it's just okay.
Well, so I was in basketball in high school, so we went around to all the high schools and competed.
Right.
I'm still competitive.
You still compete? Okay.
I still think Klein's great.
See, Klein, no, that's good. And so, college?
University of Texas in Austin.
Oh,
so go Horns.
UT, go Horns.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, that's not again, I hate to be disrespectful to guests. I mean, that's not the real orange. That UT is kind of like a rust. It's kind of like burnt.
Orange. Yeah.
The Sam Houston State orange is true orange.
Wait, is that where you went to?
Yeah, Sam Houston State, yeah.
Of course you'd want to point that out.
We're
proud of our burnt orange. We are.
Right.
Represent.
Right, Terry? Well, thank you.
So, Houston roots, UT, Texas. Of course, you mentioned New York. But this government thing that you're in now, so from college till now, so how did you get to this point?
Oh, it's so not as straightforward.
It's
route.
not.
But, I mean, I never would have imagined being here. And I'm so, so fortunate. It's an amazing experience, amazing people, amazing project, amazing initiative. But it was not planned. And isn't that crazy how that works? But my master's, I went to get my master's in healthcare management, wanted to do healthcare development, public health, all that. Consulted for a bit, wanted to work abroad, finally got that done in Dubai. And then when I wanted to come back home, usually in my track, you go back in the hospital setting, and which is great. And healthcare is still, my soul. Then when this came up and it kind of came to me in a roundabout way, I hadn't really I'd worked somewhat in government before and throughout my time in Dubai. This is full on 100% government environment, and to be able to give back to my city in a way that's just really unparalleled was really what drew me in. So it's kind of my really first 100% full on government experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for Houstonians, the city employees, what exactly is your title?
So as assistant director at Complete Communities, so I work with our director, Shannon Buggs, and my colleague, Chris Stoneham. So what my work is largely to interact with the City of Houston departments to get them to identify and work together on implementing the action plans that each complete community has identified, and the ones that are identifying their action plans currently for the new 5 communities. So I get to meet so many individuals and get to know how our departments operate. So that's been really fun.
Okay, cool. And so there are a lot of people, believe it or not, city employees as well as Houstonians who are like, okay, what is a complete community? What is this?
That's absolutely. And I spend so much time anytime I talk to even friends or new people to talk to them about complete communities, because it's really something that's it's something that should be in every city. So our mayor, and this is his initiative, is a believer of not living in basically in 2 cities in Houston, where he, as he puts it, the haves and have-nots.
Right.
Where what he's done then is identify communities that need some uplifting. They've been under-resourced, underserved. He also identifies that the city can't do it all by itself, not in resources and funding. And so his concept, a really fantastic one, is by being able to utilize resources, internal and external, to the city of Houston, agencies, organizations, nonprofits, for-profits, to both fundraise as well as to pool in their resources to be able to implement what the communities have identified as their needs, whether it be because they feel like they're food deserts or healthcare access, renovating parks, sidewalks, lighting to feel safer. So there's so many aspects to it. And a complete community, I mean, it's basically one where you're able to address those areas so residents feel like they are safe in their own communities. They are able to access resources and amenities as they wish.
So when you talk to friends and family and explain it, I mean, what's sort of the reaction that you get from people?
Typically, it's one of, they're typically impressed because one, they realize, they appreciate the fact that it's taking many organizations to be able to uplift the city and give back to the city. So, and then they ask more about who's involved and where in the city is this taking place. So they become really interested.
So what do you like best about your job?
Interacting with the people that I get to interact with and work together and collaborating.
Like HTV?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I want to do this every morning. This should be
every morning. Yeah. Complete Communities.
Not about me, but
hey, Complete Communities podcast show. Hey,
you guys just have fun in the morning.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. So, let's step away just really briefly. So, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do that also impacts your job? That makes it every day a happy day.
I like that. Well, I don't know if this impacts my job, but I definitely
maybe not. Just
well, I love volunteering. So,
okay.
And it's nothing necessarily consistent, but at food banks, at churches when possible, just a different, whatever the venue is. I like to make time for that.
Kickboxing, basketball. Didn't you mention?
Well, I was about to tell you,
track.
I love working out. Those
okay,
are my,
right.
Whether it be running. Lately, it's been Orange Theory. I'm not trying to plug them in.
Yeah, I keep hearing everybody talk about that. Oh, we can't plug all this stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But it is. It's just working out's like a big deal for me, especially
Okay.
being outdoors whenever the weather's nice in Houston.
Right.
I mean, you know how it is here. I'm still getting used to the weather again.
Right, and so for you all's department, you're constantly moving anyway, right? You need to kind of.
We are.
Right.
We are. See, keeping it in check.
So, in terms of your job, Complete Communities, I have one question on here. I almost didn't ask it, but what are your personal goals for Complete Communities? Where do you want to see your department, or what's the biggest thing that you want to happen?
Well, one of the first things that comes to mind is just strengthening the communication across departments, and we've implemented the Reich system. And so the biggest goal would be that it's a natural go-to for departments to communicate, to use as a project management tool. And so what we've been hearing back recently is a couple departments want to utilize it for other projects. So that's great progress and great feedback. And that just helps to feed into the intercommunication across departments. And that would really be the biggest goal, to be able to look back and say, okay, we've gotten there. You've gotten
okay. And so what about talk about some fun stuff, man? I mean when that
It's
is
all
fun.
fun.
It's all fun.
Sure.
But like funny stuff. Like what's I guess tell us some experiences going out in the field or in the office. There's got to be some funny stuff with Complete Communities. I mean when you go out to the park and
funny stuff. Well, we're a funny bunch.
You're fun.
I mean, we kind of just create the fun. But I mean, it's just I don't know if there's anything.
I mean, you never tripped at a press. No, I'm sorry, tripped at a press conference. Somebody.
Oh, I'm sure.
Nothing
I
funny.
have.
Nothing.
If you watch me long enough, I've tripped. Yes. I mean, come on. Yeah,
No,
but
the
we try
thing
not to.
is, why would he want to see someone?
I don't want to say
trip?
my trip. I'm just saying some funny stuff.
That's
like
the kid in Ted.
That's the kid. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Always alive and kicking.
When you're
Yeah.
at the playground, because you guys go to a lot of playgrounds, because I've seen press conferences for
You're
complete
right.
community playground. And something funny has happened at the playground, right?
I mean,
your coworkers didn't,
try
start
to
a food
swing on
fight,
the
throw
swing
stuff,
set.
and get on the
Not
swing
yet.
set.
Just
Nothing.
don't not yet.
So y'all are a little too serious,
I
man.
mean,
I'm gonna have to. You know what? The
You
next press
videotaped
conference.
us at our team meeting. You told it.
Yeah. You gotta lighten it up. You guys
We're
gotta lighten
lightening
it up.
We have good snacks over
You
there.
guys got
That helps us out.
good snacks.
We're all about snacking.
Oh man,
Yeah. Keep our energy going.
And so tell us a little bit, really quick, before we end, about your team.
Okay. I have an amazing team. I'm really lucky for that. So Shannon's been there, since about a year now.
Okay.
So she was in the office when it first opened, along with Krista. So Shannon, with her journalism background and being able to just in the communication side, I learn a lot every day from that. With Krista's background and being here previously in the city and how she has a sense of how things operate in the different people, she never keeps things boring.
Right.
Krista's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun together. Three of us can be so alike, so different, and we just keep each other laughing and motivated to keep the work that we're doing up.
But that's actually something important. I mean, you mentioned there's just 3 of you, right?
Yes. And an amazing group of UEP interns from the University of Houston, the Urban Experience Program interns. They are an incredible asset.
Okay. But because I was going to say 3 for all the work that you all do. I mean, that's a lot.
It is.
Right.
And don't so many departments, struggle with that because we are so limited budget-wise and funding-wise, resource-wise in the city of Houston. So it just pushes us that much more to work harder and more efficiently and rely on our colleagues to just be able to work together and partner. It's a lot. I mean, and we're all spread thin.
So let's go back and just hit me like, oh man, this should be a good question. So your health background, how does that impact what you do now in complete communities?
That's a really good question because it's not that immediately direct. I guess it's not that obvious at the forefront, but a lot of the work that we're doing hits at what we call in that field the social determinants of health or social drivers of health, safety, your access to amenities, healthy eating, healthy foods, all of that benefit your quality of life. And that's what a complete community should reflect is a positive, strong, good quality of life. You're healthier mentally, you're healthier physically, you're able to then live and be able to interact socially if you have parks that are renovated, if you have parks that are accessible with good lighting and such features. So all of these areas hit at a healthy and good, strong quality of life. And we call all of these elements the social determinants of health. And so there's so much that really, with my background in that field, I'm able to to connect our health organizations particularly to how this is meaningful, and not only health organizations, but others as well.
Oh, great. So as Brother Ric Flair would say, woo! Suzane Abedi, Complete Communities. Want to thank you. Really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. This is so much
All right.
fun.
And
Thank you.
let's see. In Arabic, thank you. Shukran.
Afwan.
All right. Yeah. Hey, I'm multilingual.
Man of many
Looking at me.
languages.
Yes.
Man of a few little words in many languages.
It works.
All right, y'all. That's another HTV today. All right, Terry, take us out.
All right.
It's HTV Today, Houston Television's showcase of city government. Let's go.